What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 25 of the Coffee Club Pod. We're back in the studio. Feels very nice to be back. Last week was an expedition into unknown territory where we went online, and it didn't feel as good as being here at home, did it?
No, I really didn't. The digital realm was too much for us.
It's scary, man. The metaverse, man. I'm not excited for that, but obviously that is going to be our reality soon because these boys leave freaking tomorrow to go to Europe, and George is gone for 10 days. Ollie's gone for, how long are you gone for?
Like a month and a bit. It's going to be a long time.
Yeah. Ollie's going to Europe and then Australia to race nationals and all that. So yeah, that's going to be tough. We'll see if we can make it through that. I think, we'll keep the podcast going though, obviously, but we'll just be doing it over the webs. But yeah, obviously I think if you're listening to this episode, you know what we're going to be talking about because these boys just took a trip out to LA. Well, before we get into that, I guess we'll shout out our coffee for today. We're back in the lab, taste testing.
Back in the lab.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that
So this is coffee from Whitebridge Coffee Company, which is our friend Matt Land, who that's who we do our beans with. And so we're back taste testing for dropping our own new beans. The Coffee Club blend.
We got serious yesterday.
Yeah.
We got the spoons out.
The spoon testing thing was a new thing for me.
We did some slurping.
We slurped that shit up.
It was interesting. It kind of worked.
I think it did.
I think that method was pretty good.
Yeah, it's like.
And when we don't pretend to know what we're doing.
Yeah, we don't have any.
But
yeah, we don't have the most refined palates.
Pretend, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one, but definitely the slurping it works when it hits all those different taste buds, and you're like, wow, I haven't tasted coffee like this before. So. But we're gonna have some new beans coming out soon for you guys to purchase. So just getting the mix right because we're gonna do like kind of a potential subscription model, like rather than being a drop like we did last time of a limited release. It's gonna be like you can buy them consistently. So we're gonna probably do like a 2-month rotating Coffee Club blend. So we'll pick like a blend of beans that we like. So that's kind of what we're working with now. But moving on from that. The boys just got back from California. Beautiful California. Was the weather nice there?
Yeah, every day except the day that we were supposed to race originally.
Really? The Saturday?
They postponed it for good reason. It was not a good night to run a 10K.
It's pretty shit.
Like even our pre-meet was ridiculous.
It was actually super windy.
Doing strides was like very much one directional.
Yeah. Damn. Well, that's lucky. Lucky that they did that. And honestly, that they had the flexibility, like to be able to do that. That's kind of impressive.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that with the big meet.
No.
Or like one with that had like TV time all lined up.
So. Oh yeah, dude. But Bauman, man, they like to control that shit, and for good reason because obviously then you get the results that they get. But before the big 10Ks happened, there was a big 1500 race, and I have some prompting questions going into that race because. The stories behind that race, for you listeners at home, there was a lot that went down behind the scenes with the boys that we'll get into, and there's quite entertaining stories. But first off, the first thing that I saw about the race flipping on Instagram was Louis G put out a challenge to George, and it didn't get accepted though. Come on, what's up with that?
Did I have to have it in on the internet?
I think yes. I think
you're probably right.
I think that's if someone like challenges someone like externally over the internet rather than just like a text, you have to reply over the internet so everyone knows. Because then the fans are invested. You know, the fans are following it along.
It seemed very one-sided though. Luis was pushing it hard. You don't really give a shit.
I mean, it was all the way back from his like actual Citrus Mag interview, like a month ago.
Yeah. So that's been going on for a while.
No, it has. But it's all Luis. It's all Luis pushing it, and George is like, I didn't give a fuck.
George's too cool for that.
I did get a message from Citrus, like they wanted me to like be on an episode briefly or something, or like not an episode. They wanted to like set up a filming something so I could reply.
Oh, that would
have like a snippet.
Yeah. That would have been cool to do. But was that at the race?
Was this like a month ago after Luis's episode?
Yeah.
But people were coming up to me like before the race, like asking if I'd bought clippers and stuff. And
yeah, I was gonna message you about it, but then I was like, well, I know that he's seen it, and it's like if he's like going into race mode and stuff and doesn't want to like engage with that type of stuff, like I totally understand that. But I was like, I don't know. That would have been cool to accept it because then like now obviously you ended up beating Luis by a decent chunk.
What did he finish at?
He's 341, no?
241, I think. Yeah.
And what was the bet exactly?
Well, I feel like he changed it like the day before to
really?
be like an inch per 0.1 of a second or something.
Okay, so he's got no hair left.
Yeah, the dude would be bald.
He's got no hair left. Luis, like, come on, man. Yeah,
Cue
we need to get a picture of him with no hair now.
Yeah. Damn it.
Yeah, that would be
I
so
really
good
should've.
too.
Oh well.
But
Sorry, guys.
Opportunity
next
missed,
time, next
but
time.
Big
next
opportunity.
Next time.
No, he's gonna be like fist pump. He's gonna be like, fuck yeah, like I don't have to cut all my hair off now. Because he probably, obviously, you, like, your hair is so part of your image now. Like I know even when I cut my hair, you were like annoyed at me for not having, like, you like long hair, you know, and it's like it looks good on you. So
It does.
it would be hard for you to cut your hair.
It'd be a bummer.
Yeah, it'd just be like, oh damn, like I spent all this time growing this out and I look so pretty. Now I gotta get rid of it.
Now I gotta look.
I've done it before.
Yeah,
I think actually only once. I shaved it to like a 0 my sophomore year in
classic.
college.
Classic
I did that
sophomore in
too.
college.
Well,
Yes.
I did that exact
I
same
did that
thing
in the
in
freshman year as well.
Yeah, sophomore year. I
What
shaved
did
my
you
hair.
cut off? Like this much?
No, I actually had
Yeah.
like a lot of hair.
You
At
had a
that
bit of
point.
hair.
Yeah.
You had a bit of hair.
Okay.
Didn't have
I
those.
Didn't have your hair.
And it
back.
was nothing like this is. I mean, I've kept it really short for the last couple of years.
This is
So,
really
like,
short.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like freshman year, it was like down my back when I
Oh,
shaved
dude, that's
it.
freaking flag stuff,
It was
man.
like 2 days.
Changes people.
Textbook
Yeah.
George.
But
Maybe like 2 days here these days. And Luis's. They both need
Sasquatch.
haircuts.
Yeah, wait. So would you say that Luis is similarly attached to his hair? Would it be hard for him to go short? Because I could picture him with short hair easier than I could picture you with short hair, if that makes sense.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know why.
I
But
don't know, you should look up pictures of him in high school.
Does he look funny?
Kinda.
Okay.
When he's got hair like right here, he looks like Dora the Explorer. That's
Oh,
pretty funny.
he would.
It's
His,
like
his,
Dora.
uh,
Louise.
Like a
his
nice bob.
Instagram picture was that cut was literally the door
like
explorer.
a bob
His
type thing
Instagram
going
cut
on.
was like
That's
past
hilarious.
his ears. I thought it looked alright in him at that length,
Yeah.
to be honest. But
Yeah. No, that'd be cool.
it'd be interesting to see if he screw it, I'm gonna shave my head.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
Anyway,
But
Me and Ollie should have had a beer too.
yeah, we
yeah, that
didn't
would
think
have
of
been
that
good,
through,
honestly.
did we?
That would have been good. But next time. It's hard when because there was a bunch of stuff where we look back at it now and we're like, man, there's a bunch of cool stuff that could have happened at this meet. But obviously, our job is to run. So you're not spending all this time thinking about all this external stuff. You're getting pretty focused. But I mean, I think as we move forwards, we will be like more aware of that type of stuff. But the next question I want to ask you guys, because I was shocked when I saw you guys racing and I saw George wearing a speed suit and you wearing short shorts. What's up?
That was a big change up, huh?
Yeah, what happened there?
No,
That was
How
my
did
dude.
What happened there?
I didn't bring my speed suit. I just thought, well, it's gonna be because last time I was in. I don't know why I thought this because it was it's just during winter, but last time I was in Cali and I wore a speed suit was a 5K with Bauman, and that was when I ran in 13:22. I had a shit last 800, and I was wearing the speed suit for that.
Oh, yeah.
I was really hot, and it wasn't like felt good, so I was like, oh, I'll just wear a shirt and tights. Like I'll probably be wearing that anyway, like at Worlds and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Geordie just I didn't even know Geordie bought the speed
He
suit.
surprised
We
you?
didn't
Yeah.
communicate this at all.
Wow.
I literally looked over because we'll get into it later, but I was like kind of frantically like just trotting around waiting, and Geordie literally just comes out with a speed suit. I'm like,
And you're like,
fuck.
oh man, how am I going to compare to that?
Pretty
fucking
sick.
I had the complete opposite plan in mind. I like just packed both. I was like, dude, shit, it's gonna be they're running 10Ks. It's gonna be like 40. It's
It
gonna
was
be like
it was freaking cold.
it's gonna be cold as hell.
Cold for 1500.
Well,
huh?
and
Yeah,
it
for
wasn't
sure.
So I
ideal
was like,
weather
I'm
for 15.
gonna bring a warm thing, and then at the last second, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wear it like in honor of Ollie because Ollie's a speed 2 guy.
Yeah,
I
so
am a
you
speed suit
100% thought he was going to be wearing it as well.
I just assumed he
yeah,
would be.
it's,
I didn't really
it's
think
like his
about
look
it.
now.
Well, that's the thing. Like I just didn't.
But
I
I also
literally
knew it
didn't
wasn't a big
communicate.
race for Ollie.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised when he was just going
No, that's
It's
not.
true.
singlet.
No,
That's true.
honestly, the reason why I went the singlet and the shorts is because I thought it was gonna be hot because of the 5K last
Interesting.
time, and it's so
Interesting.
stupid because then when I got there, I was like, wow, I should have brought the speed suit. But
Yeah.
think
yeah.
that was worth 100th of a second.
no,
Oh,
I don't think it would have mattered.
But how did it feel running in it? Because you haven't worn a speed suit too many times before, have you?
I haven't in a long. I was forced to wear one.
Oh yeah, when
After
they
us,
didn't have they had
we
the
didn't
women's
have-
camp
Oh, yeah,
jerseys.
yeah.
They
I
just gave us
remember
the women's
seeing
Those
camp.
black and white ones, we had to wear a speed suit,
Back in the day.
and I hated it at Mount Sac because it was hot as
Yeah,
balls.
that's why I was
It was
like.
like 90 degrees in Mount Sac, so it was
Yeah,
miserable.
I
For
didn't
some
even
reason,
think
I had
about
the
that
Cali
aspect.
thing in my head because like 1500 usually like if the speed suit fits well and it's nice, you can wear it in any weather. It
I
doesn't
think it
matter.
feels good, yeah.
Yeah, it feels good. But the thing is with the on one, I think it's just not Like it's not the worst speed suit, not the best speed suit.
It's just
It's just good.
It runs a little hot.
But it runs a little hot.
I mean, I was comfy enough.
Yeah.
But it wasn't life changing.
Yeah. Was anyone else wearing speed suits?
No, there's like 3 people in the race.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even remember like I was a bit flustered, so I don't remember what was going on.
It is cool to see the rising popularity of speed suits, though.
I don't think Hoka
Has
makes a
one.
speed suit. I don't know if Brooks does either. And those are the other 2 people in it.
Wait, was it literally just those two?
Oh, and OTC. But I don't know does OTC have a speed suit?
They must.
You'd
Like
think they would.
Nike would make them.
I think they.
But it would have to be
do.
like specific for OTC.
Yeah.
That's true. I think if one of the guys really wanted to race in one, I bet you they would.
I mean,
be able
Bauman
to
doesn't
get
have a
one.
speed suit.
True.
Bauman
What
does not
does
have a
look
speed
sick
suit.
is Ollie's, well, the picture of, because you don't have one.
No, not yet.
But the picture of Ollie's jersey for speed suit for World Indoors, like with the t-shirt.
The
t-shirt
Australian one.
It looks really
the
fucking
Aussie
cool.
one.
My
He
boy
doesn't actually have it,
Rowan
but-
was modeling it. Shout out
Rowan was looking
Rowan
tasty.
Browning.
in that
He looked
thing.
fucking fantastic in that Puma speed suit, and the colors are like solid as well. It's no like
The Australian
outlandish
colors.
yellows.
But they're interesting though. Have you noted? Have you looked at the colors on the new Australian kit? It's not. There's no gold. It's like
it's more
a greenish yellow.
Yeah,
It's just mostly there's like it's like yellow trim. It's like
Yeah.
but
almost
it looks better
95%
It does look
green.
good though.
than
It
having
does look
all
good.
yellow.
It
And that's the
looks
thing.
really
Like
good.
it looks like South Africa a little bit though.
Yeah.
That's my only issue with it.
We
but-
definitely like
We
mix
can't
the
do much
colors
with green and
South
gold.
Africa, but yeah. So you guys are racing the 1500, which like if you were going into this meet, like it was a 10K meet primarily, and then you guys set up. Was it? I guess it was. Was it literally you guys kind of setting up this
I think we
1500?
just asked for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys asked for it, and the goal. I mean, the goal was one to get an effort in before World Indoors, and then snag like a World Champs time if like you could.
What standard would be nice?
Yeah. You
Little
always
disappointing.
take one of
Yeah,
those.
it just
Yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't the day for it. There's
Yeah.
nothing like. There's nothing about. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so the field, like good field, but just not like
What was
stacked.
how'd you guys find the pacing?
The pacing was okay, but I had an issue with the lights. I think the lights were. I know Jesse did tweet about how the lights were set at the right paces. Like he said that the lights went off.
we're definitely going to talk more about the lights when we get to the 10Ks.
But
Yeah.
for the 1500, Jordy and I finished. If you watch the photos, we finished in front of the lights, which
So
was
what-
supposed to be set at 335 flat.
So you thought they were
I
335 flat?
assumed that.
That's
what
why
else-
would they set it at
why
anything
would they-
else? That was the world
Well,
standard.
I mean, it was probably up to Ritz what they set them at.
Yeah, but Ritz was said like we're gonna go. Like the plan for us was to close hard,
Yeah.
learn how to close hard and finish hard, which is what we did, and then also to try and nip under the world standard. It wasn't the
you-
be all and end all, but that was the prescribed pace.
What is 155 through 800? What is that for 1500?
335 point, I think. So we
Okay.
would have had to close a bit off it.
Which and our last 400 was
Wait,
the
so
quickest.
actually,
I wonder what they were set to then.
Our last 400 was
no,
the quickest.
I think the lights actually were set to whatever 57.5 was.
But we were ahead of the
which is
lights.
Because that
actually
wouldn't
slower.
surprise me. That wouldn't surprise
But it-
me if that's
but
what
it
they were
would
set
still
to.
be. But they must have still been a second slow because we ran 336.5.
But that's what I'm
and we were
saying
ahead.
because the guy that paced us was on pace, and then we were ahead of the lights at the end, which means that we should have. And our last 100 we did close. It was our fastest 400.
Yeah, I mean,
it wasn't ridiculous, but it was our fastest.
I
400.
couldn't see like from the angle. I don't remember like seeing the lights exactly like as you guys finished. But I mean, if you guys were ahead of them and then you guys ran 36, they must have been slow then for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway,
and they must have been set to
I
a
hate
slower
that
pace.
we've been talking about how we. I thought about this before the race too. That we've just been saying how much we're sick of time trials
Yeah.
this season.
Well,
and
no,
that was like the
I don't
biggest time
think.
trial ever.
I don't. It was more of a training exercise though, because we knew what we were
It
doing.
really was.
It was
Yeah,
literally
I mean,
the
there's
pacer.
there's like 4 people in the
The,
race.
the whole point, Rist even told us at the start, the whole point of the race was to run to obviously the pace would go up to 800, and then I'd take the lead and try and squeeze it down, and then we'd both close. And it was about finishing.
Yeah.
Like that's what we did. We actually did what we were supposed to do, training exercise wise.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk more about the finish of the race and the aftermath, but there is a little more to cover pre-race still. There's still one more big thing. So Ollie wasn't wearing his spikes, and do you want to tell the audience why not?
So what happened was I've been really into anime shows right now, and I have not been paying attention to reality. Been watching Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer, and
Very very addictive shows.
very addictive shows, and also shows you can just binge
Yeah.
constantly. And we had set a prescribed time to leave, And I literally was like still on the couch watching it by the time like we had 3 minutes left to leave.
And
I had nothing
had
ready.
you packed your bag?
I wasn't even in my running gear. Like I was literally on the couch.
Was Rich there and stuff?
Yeah.
And
he came back because dropped Ben.
He was
off.
dropping Ben off.
Oh, so
Ben
he wasn't there to like tell you like.
Yeah. So Ben Ardenschink is the boyfriend of Alicia Monson, who's on our team, and he was running a 10K at the meet as well. He was staying with us, and he left to do his pre-meet, and
yeah, because his 10K was earlier. Yeah.
And then so I was just scurrying to get everything ready, and then Geordie says to me, "Have you got your spikes?" And I said to him, "Yes," because I was adamant in my brain that I put my spike bag into my bag.
Yeah.
I left the door, got to the elevator, and then like double checked because it's like I don't think I had my I think I might have forgot it. Like, so I opened my bag and I see that my spikes aren't in there, and I'm like, oh shit! It's fine because the door's like right there. So I turned like to go back into the door, and Geordie's trying to open it, and the door code wouldn't work, and we kept trying the door code, and then all of a sudden it just shut off, and we were locked out of the actual Airbnb and couldn't get my spikes. So
did it have a feature where like if you do the code too many times wrong, it like locks you out?
It didn't say. Well, we were doing the code right, but
Okay.
it just wasn't working anymore. It was like one of those fancy electronic ones.
Yeah.
And we thought maybe it had been set for like the 3 days we were supposed to be staying there, and then we had to add on an extra day, and so like the Airbnb person hadn't like given us an extra day of that code.
That would make sense. Yeah.
So then when we tried to use, we hadn't used it that whole day.
Yeah.
And then we were trying to use it, and we were like, "Shit."
Yeah. So you guys are just
locked
standing
out.
outside the door, locked out, and you know your spikes are there, but it's like, I mean,
It's already only like 75 minutes before the race.
Yeah,
probably.
like it's
like a
crunch
20.
time.
It's like a 20-minute drive.
We honestly spent 20 minutes
Yeah.
to try and figure out a way to get into the apartment, and then Rich is like, "Fuck it, we're going." So we
Yeah.
left. So I texted Alicia and I said, "Hey, like, what size spikes has Ben? I'm gonna need a pair to like be able to race."
Yeah.
And she said, "I think he's a 9.5," and I was like, "Beauty, that's me. That's my size."
Yeah.
And then I get to the track. So Ben's race is literally right before my 1500, like minutes before. So
Yeah.
I'm like trying to like not panic.
Yeah, like you weren't able to like put your spikes on before the race, do strides in them or any of that.
No. So then what happened was I go over to Ben. Ben had a great race, by the way, 28 flat for
28
10K.
flat. Yeah, second place.
Second place for him. And he said, yeah, he like gave me the spikes. I put them on. A size too big.
But they're like 10.5?
Yeah, they were like 10.
They're only 10. They're only half a
but
size too big.
they were literally massive on me.
Yeah.
Which
Damn.
means,
And
I mean,
just
9.5
running
fits
10K
me
in
well,
them
but
as well. Like,
They've probably been like stretched or something.
Yeah.
they were massive. And I
Yeah.
put my foot on and it was just sliding and I was panicking. So I usually don't wear socks. So I actually had to put on my Demon Slayer socks. And then I put this spike on and like just jammed my foot like
just
tied
tied
up really
it.
tight.
Yeah.
I'm doing all this, trying to take off all my clothes. Literally everyone's on the line about to go.
Yeah.
Literally, like it was the
Dude,
most
that's
stressful. I had
that
no
is
idea what
so
was going on. I got to the
stressful.
line and then all of a sudden the gun went off and that was it. So it was
That's
a
wild.
bit dramatic, but it was definitely 100% my fault. And I felt bad because like
Was this hashtag good for the sport?
hashtag not good for the sport. It was
Yeah.
fucking terrible. It's the lowest hashtag of not good for the sport. Like the problem is like the past, because even in Milrose, people won't know this either. I actually left my spikes in the hotel when we walk into the train
Yeah,
station.
we did talk
I
about
think we
that.
talked about that.
Yeah, I had to
Yeah.
run back and get them. So that's twice I've done that.
Oh, no.
And like my last year when I was a pro, I never did anything like that. I was always prepared.
Yeah.
So I think I'm slacking quite a bit now.
That-
It didn't feel good running in
slump.
those spikes. It's fucking terrible, but it
Yeah.
doesn't make a difference anyway.
Yeah, because then
really.
like if the race played out and you I can't even imagine like because you don't have any time to like relax. Like you like when the
I wasn't
gun goes
thinking about
off,
the race
you want to
at
be
all.
like you want to be things like relatively relaxed
Yeah.
and focused.
I wasn't thinking about the race at all. I was thinking about just getting a pair of spikes on my
Yeah.
foot. Doesn't matter what size they were. And then
Jesus.
after that, I was pretty annoyed at myself. Like self-hatred was at an all-time high. And
So
I
you
felt
should have had
bad.
a really good race then. if
Well, no,
you-
it was after the race. I just had self-hatred because I wasn't focused. I was all over the
Yeah,
place, and
no,
I was
that's-
super angry after the race because the realization came, and I was like, "Dude, I just like, did I fuck up that race for Geordie? Did I like not like get us through the 3:30?" And then I was worried about like Carmela as well,
Mhm.
and just all the stress that came with it. So I felt really bad about myself, and then I went to pace the 10K. But yeah, that
What-
was all of just
Yeah.
there's a lot of angst in that.
Let's talk about how the race went down a bit more. So, like, you went right behind the pacemaker, no?
Mm-hmm.
Ollie's
Yeah.
favorite spot, and you were right behind him at the start, were you? Or were you
No,
not
I
that?
was
Luis
always-
was.
And then
I guess, yeah.
I was getting behind Luis, and then Ribeye was really giving me the shoulder, so
Oh,
I let him
really?
in.
He wanted that spot.
He really wanted that spot.
But the thing with that race is like, yeah, there's like 3-4 people in it. So
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
I
you
think
can
it
chill
didn't
at the
really
back.
matter.
Also,
if I'm 2 places behind, I'm gonna be like a quarter of a second back.
yeah. Also,
I
like,
figured it didn't matter.
they all knew what was happening. Like,
Yeah.
Ribic also asked me before the race, like, what the plan was. And the plan was that I would go behind the pacer,
Mhm.
pacer drop off, and then I'd try and squeeze down the rest of the race.
Yeah.
And try and get everyone, like, trying to get us under
Yeah.
3:35. So that was the plan.
Yeah.
And
So-
the pacer, like, yeah, I was frantic.
Yeah.
So when 800 went and he kind of dropped off, then we started trying to build up. And from my perspective, I just didn't have the click, right? The click to go.
You kept pushing that third lap. Like,
I
solid.
tried to keep it going, but
Definitely.
then the last lap, like, I just didn't have the click that I wanted because the race was like, try and close as hard as you can because you know
Yeah.
George is going to come. And like we're working on finishing and trying to like lean. And honestly, like, Rich was actually really happy with it because the last 200, if you watch the race, like, I didn't see Geordie, but he comes up and I know he's coming. But we both like really worked that last 100 and then leaned to the line. I think that was like the whole idea of
Yeah.
that training exercise was like, because medals are going to be won at Belgrade by like a thousandth of a second. So that was a good part of it. The rest of the race though kind of sucked, but
Yeah.
also like we got a good good learning exercise out of it, I thought.
Yeah.
But that's from my perspective. What
Yeah,
happened.
let's hear George's perspective because you were obviously on it, and then you did. This is what everyone wants to hear. It was very textbook George. It was the most freaking textbook George thing ever. Like, you just keep doing it. I don't know how you do it, but you were on it, and then you gave Ollie a bit of space. Was it on the third lap?
I think it must have been, but it was mostly from. I probably should have like covered like the move from Luis and
Yeah, those guys were
everybody
slowing down as
coming
well.
back a little bit.
Yeah.
and I had to like go around them
Mm-hmm.
eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they didn't like fall off a cliff, and I mean, Ribeye went through pretty fast at BU recently, so I was like happy to be behind him.
Yeah.
Like, ran through 55, and I was like, these guys are fit enough to stay behind for a good amount of time. I can't remember when I went around them.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, somewhere on that third lap. And then at that point, I was like probably already given Ollie a bit of breathing room.
Yeah, I remember like going into like from most of the last lap until like 200 to go, like Ollie had a nice gap.
Yeah, I was still like kind of trying to catch him though, and it was like still helpful even though he was like a bit ahead. I must have just run the numbers perfectly as per usual.
That
somehow.
engineering brain, man, it's always
Yeah.
just crunching those numbers so that you can get at the last
So
second. man.
so he could like, you know,
What's the
I led-
exact amount of time I can?
No, I
to the
lead
person in front?
most of the race, and then George leads 0.01 of the race. So
Literally,
he
that's
literally led.
literally what
He
it
literally led
was.
0.01 of the race.
I actually didn't think I got Ollie.
No, see, the thing is,
Really?
I knew you got me, but I wasn't sure. Like, I was pretty sure, like, because I had the inclination, but I was actually really hoping for a dead heat because that'd been hilarious.
Yeah,
that'd
that
been so
would've been
funny
good.
because if the dead heat happened, the rematch for that would have been unbelievable. Like,
Yeah.
it would be like, oh, we gotta
Yeah.
see, like,
I mean, and obviously I was trying to race you because that's always fun, but I was also like, I did see the lights with like
We were
300
ahead of
to
you.
go. I was
You're
like,
trying
oh,
to-
you're
I was
like-
like, I may as well try and get those. And
Yeah.
if that happens to be behind Ollie, that was still fine. If it happens to be ahead of Ollie, all good.
the
Like,
Yeah,
photo
like, you're
of
also
us together,
chasing world
literally, we're in
champs.
front,
Yeah.
in front of the lights, which
Really?
which I didn't understand because when I saw we're in front of the lights, I'm like, okay, we've got it.
Yeah, you would have thought you were on a 335.
I thought we've
Yeah.
done it.
Yeah.
We've got
I
the
turned
standard.
around and I was like,
And,
what?
Yeah,
That's weird.
because
Yeah.
like that was the one thing. Like if we were able to finish like that and get George on a 335, like that's done. That's
Yeah.
like that's what.
And
Trying
there
to-
were also no, because it was a 10K meet, there was no splits at the 1500 start line. There was not even standing there. They all left. So like
No-
at the
no one
400
could give
meter, like 400, 800, and 1200, there's
Yeah.
nothing,
No one
there
gives
was
a
nothing
fuck.
there. There's no
No one gives a
clock.
fuck
What
about
about
the race.
Ritz?
Yeah,
Rich
he
was focused on Carmelo.
He was chilling somewhere else. I don't even know.
okay,
He also
fair
has got a
enough.
broken foot right now, so he
Yeah,
can't
I couldn't really
do it
move.
Yeah,
But-
that's fair.
now.
Racing
Yeah.
someone in the last 100 is always fun though.
Yeah.
But that like that race though, like that, even if you win or lose it, I feel like it's so valuable because you need to have that kind of pressure sometimes, and I think it was really good.
Yeah, someone from the stands sent me on Instagram a video of like they have a really good spot of like the last 100. I don't know if I've showed it to you guys yet. Maybe we'll put up on Instagram or something, but it's a pretty epic finish. It's like the class, like Ollie, like you start swerving out a little bit, and like you got bumped a little bit by Ollie.
We did, you know,
with like
do you know what
30
reminded me
meters
of?
to go.
Is that race with Ollie and Carlos?
Yeah, that is so much like that.
Like exactly like
Well,
that.
Carlos came in on the inside? No.
I don't remember what that one was. I just remember the dive at the line by Carlos.
Yeah, but you still got him.
Yeah,
I got him.
I just went in, but he was like, it was just the same where it was just like
right on the line.
See,
And like,
I give myself credit because like holding that off is, I feel like it's pretty hard. Like the hold off a George kick,
the amount
pretty fucking hard, man.
When George is using his freaking slingshot maneuver, like by the time he's alongside you, he's gonna be going at like a quicker speed. You know what I mean? Because you've caught him. So yeah, to try and match that is like so hard.
But the one thing I thought that people won't notice that unless you have the eye. Like I think someone like Riss was really excited about it because the way George would slingshot like that and the way I responded just shows that we can close in a situation where like a race could literally be won or lost in the last 200, which honestly will probably happen at Worlds.
Yeah,
because of the competition and like how impressive the people are that are going. So I think George and I should get a bit of confidence from that, being able to like respond in that way. So I mean,
and especially running still like a very solid performance on like a not ideal night.
It was a PR for George, even though it was shit weather and shit like overall stuff except for the finish. I think that's like a good thing to take from it.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty good spot to be 2 weeks out.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, even if you'd run a bunch slower, like getting an effort like that in is so valuable leading into a championship race. So that's pretty awesome. I think I got to ask you this question, George. Like I wouldn't normally ask you this question unless it was like on a podcast, like because it's kind of like I know it's kind of a dumbed down weird question to ask, but like I mean maybe you have already been asked this. Like why do you race like that? Like I wouldn't normally ask you that question, but I just want to like.
That was the best part of the end of that race. Or I don't have Twitter, but I know that Pat Casey's Twitter is the best Twitter out there.
100%. It's hashtag good for the sport.
Oh my God, Pat Casey, he's the funniest guy out there.
Yeah. And Dathan just shows me one of his tweets from after, and it was just like, has Geordie ever thought about racing like a normal person?
Oh yeah, I did see that. See the thing, yeah, because I know it's a stupid question because it's like it's not like you want to race like that. Like you don't want to give people ground.
Ideally, it's a lot easier to kick just off someone's shoulder.
Yeah.
Instead of from way back.
Yeah.
I mean, generally, I'm just not as fit as most people. Like that fitness is not my strength. Like
But you have to be. I don't know. It's an interesting one because you obviously have to be fit to be able to sprint that quick at the end of an effort.
It's
of a
true.
Race,
I honestly think it's to save in the reserves a little bit. I think he
just calculates it.
Figures it out off feel that, okay, like I don't give him any more space, but I know if I stay about this distance away from this competitor, that if I close really hard, I'll have the momentum to pass him. And I like, you got to back yourself with that. Like when you race, you back yourself all the time. And I think that's what George has done. Obviously I don't know because I don't really race like that. The only time I've ever done that was probably when I ran at NCAAs.
You guys essentially race like opposite.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, like if you look at it like a little simple, but
that's how I like racing from further back in the pack. Like it's fun, and I like the last 200 is the only part I really get excited about.
Get up with that.
Like I'm not excited about grinding out some middle laps. Like
that's
it's not as fun for me.
I feel like. I feel like now you got to be up there in the middle because
you definitely do
will close, and if you're with them, then you have the opportunity to hopefully close them down.
It's not something I intend to do forever. Like I'm hoping, like I want to get fit enough where I'm more comfortable further up. And there's definitely times where I just feel like I'm fuck, this is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, like I think pre-classic was probably my worst one year. Where I was in last place at the bell. I didn't even know I was in last place.
That was like a decently big field, wasn't it? Like,
and it was slow. I went through like 3 flat or something.
Yeah. Like
and then at some point on the last lap, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? This isn't actually as hard as I thought.
Yeah.
There's only like 300 meters to go. I guess I'll just go now.
People like that was the one
it's
thing.
Very entertaining.
It's very entertaining. But the people like
it's good for
we're
sport,
going into a meet where no one really gives a shit about us. Like obviously the focus is going to be in the 10Ks. Yeah. But I think the cool thing that we did was we made it interesting And we did have coffee club fans out there. Shout out to all you guys that came up and got photos and autographs and stuff. That was sick.
That was the best part of the
lovely
meet,
to see
actually.
you guys
Yeah,
and cheer it on. But like that was, I think we kind of gave, because that obviously if you look at it, it's a 4-person race, doesn't seem very interesting, but we kind of tried to make it interesting, and I think that worked out well.
Turned a pretty boring time trial
into a nice finish.
Yeah.
to an exciting 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
What do you think about the people that? Because some people see you race like that, and they say that like you go to sleep in those middle laps. What do you think?
Because that's
about
what
that?
Louis said, right?
Did he say that?
I think he said that.
I think I saw
About-
Jonathan Gold tweet something
Damn.
along those lines of
Jonathan
like,
Gold, chill, bro.
no, it's like, but it's not meant as an insult. It's just like a thing people say, kind of.
Yeah, no, it definitely
It's
is.
like you just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to chill.
I mean, those are always like the hard labs,
Yeah.
and
And you know what Mike Smith likes to say?
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
go to sleep, but then also like don't
Shout out to our,
don't get dropped by
Don't go to
30
sleep that
meters.
much.
Yeah.
shout
Just
out
a
to the
little bit of
legend
sleep.
Mike Smith.
Yeah.
We missed him out there, but
Was he there?
no, he wasn't.
He didn't
Louis
come.
said he would have came though if it was a Saturday.
Fair. Damn.
Yeah. We'll see at Worlds. I'll
Yeah.
try to be a little further up.
The one thing that,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna have a prediction here for the 3K it was. So if Geordie makes that final, because it's the prelim and a final to 3K, it's not gonna be as I don't think the 3K is gonna be nuts in the heats. I think it's gonna be very tactical and then fast last K or last 1500.
Could you let Stewie know that that's the plan?
Stewie, that's the plan. Stewie,
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it
Well,
up.
just don't be in Stewie's heat.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think once it gets to the final though, I think it could be a ripper.
I think the final's gonna be nuts.
But I think
it's gonna be
I think the
nuts.
one thing that you're gonna not expect is that you're gonna be able to stay with it, because I think there's gonna be a line of people and you're gonna probably be in that middle pack maybe, and you're gonna be like, okay, I'm in a good spot. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna focus. And I feel like when you run a 200 bank track, like you can just feel the momentum.
You
And then
definitely do.
I think Geordie's gonna be like, oop, time to go. And
I agree.
I think Geordie's gonna rip some heads off. So I'm excited.
Yeah, rip some heads off. I would like to.
It
see that.
is it's fun running the last 200 or
I think
300
you're
on an indoor
gonna do
track.
something
It is.
stupid.
You can like really just like
Yeah.
rip around.
I'm
some
excited.
people
running
and
quick on an indoor track just feels good.
It does.
Because when you get the momentum going and you're a guy with momentum, it's gonna look good.
Yeah. Also, when you're just in like that pure race, like race, like world champs is, and that's like the pinnacle. You know, I think you're just focusing on sticking on the person behind you or whatever. And I think like it becomes almost easier to do that when you really get in that zone, and it's like you don't feel the strain. You're just like focused on. I mean, that's how it's been for me. Like in my best races, is like whether you run quick or slow, like you don't really actually notice the difference when you're just so locked in on like beating people and racing. So
Yeah.
I could definitely see it being like that.
No, I'm excited for it.
So yeah, and then George wins, yay! Ollie goes and
All these pennants.
yeah. How did you feel like immediately after the race? Because you went and I got some more videos from some coffee club fans. Thank you for sending them in. Of Ollie
think
throwing up next to the track.
my body agrees. My body agrees. My head and that Starbucks nitro cold brew is just not good to have like 30 minutes before your race.
Is that when you guys had it?
Yeah, I chugged it. Like we both chugged
We
it.
also
He
had-
felt sick as well. He just held it
Really?
in.
We had coffee really late because Ritz got it, but he had to like drop Ben off at the track,
Yeah.
and then he got coffee on the way back. So we had coffee like a lot later.
There's a
than
lot of
usual.
shit going on.
Yeah, we talked about like drinking coffee either last week or the week before. I need a little more time because it does do certain things to your body, which like,
With
you,
the
you,
sweet
need some,
cream.
you need some time.
The sweet cream that we had though.
You had sweet cream in it?
That's
Before a
what
race?
caused it. So like I finished the
Why are you
race.
drinking black coffee.
I finished the race and my body actually, like my legs felt good. I felt pretty like
Yeah.
solid. But then I just felt sick in the stomach and I'm thinking, what the, like, cause usually if I'm going to throw up after a race, it's like the lactate response, but it wasn't that. And I threw up all coffee, just like
Well,
coffee.
there's probably
out.
something to do with that because you wouldn't have thrown up if you didn't race just
Yeah.
from drinking.
But I
coffee.
think the coffee was a bit of like,
it was a factor.
It
It
was
makes
a
sense
big
that certain
factor.
things wouldn't sit in your
it
stomach
just
as
didn't
well.
sit well. And then,
And,
cause like
yeah.
after that I felt fine. And then I went and paced the 10. Like it wasn't,
we need
like
to,
my legs didn't feel bad.
We need to update our pre-race rituals from last week.
Don't
to include Ollie forgetting spikes because that's
Yeah.
basically a ritual now
Yeah.
from Millrose.
That's only
and
2
this one.
times. All right.
That's every race this year.
2 of 2.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
2 of 2.
And then
Don't do the freaking nitro
late-
with the sweet cream, man. Like that's like because I would drink like an espresso shot, you know.
That's
Yes,
what we should have
yeah.
had. That's what we should have had.
but that's what we had in Boston. We had a Starbucks
And we
espresso
fucking
shot,
ran
and it
so
was
good.
terrible.
But we
Yeah, it
ran
was
so
disgusting.
good. It doesn't matter. We just sacrificed the taste
Yeah, we
for
need
it.
to
Because
we
you
need
ran
to stop
good.
trusting Ritz's That's what he like suggested, and we're like,
But the thing is, we
cream.
could have honestly got Ritz to earlier just take us to Bear Coast Coffee and just grab an espresso shot there and just keep it in the fridge and then just drink
Yeah,
it cold.
or you guys could just swerve, start taking caffeine pills. I heard that you like put them up your butt, and it like goes like it's more
Well,
effective.
you've heard or you've tried this experience?
Both, both. You put it and you just like it just makes you run really well. So
I
that's also a
remember
recommendation.
Truard being a big caffeine pill guy.
I think people that are like big coffee people like definitely are into the pills because like they could drink a coffee and they won't feel it, you know. But I mean, we don't drink like an outrageous amount of coffee, so you definitely still feel it in the evening. But I think you can fail a drug test if you take too much caffeine as well, which
I
is
think you
crazy to
can.
think about.
But it's
There's
over.
a
It's like
limit.
it's a pretty big amount.
Yeah, I
though.
think it is
it's
a
a
lot.
crazy amount
Yeah.
to the point where you wouldn't be sleeping.
But I think if you put a lot of pills up your butt, you might hit that amount. I think that's if you were trying to do that. I think that'd be the way to go about it.
Thanks for the insight.
Recommendation to all the listeners out there that want to run some PBs. But yeah, so you had to classic puke and rally.
Yeah,
Puke and rally for a
like my
2K.
like my college days.
Yeah. Did you know you were pacing the whole time that you were going to pace the 10K after the
that was the
1500?
plan. The plan was to run the 15 and then pace. The plan was for both of us to pace, but Geordie thought, you know what, nah.
How far would you pace? Like 400 meters?
He didn't pace at all.
No, I
Well,
said
the
how much
person-
he would have.
No, the person who won was going to get to pace the second group
Oh.
because there was, they were like.
But you did-
Oh, that was like the reward.
Yeah, yeah.
Thing was you get to run
To pace
slower.
66s instead of 64s, but he didn't even do it.
It was optional.
It was
It
optional.
wasn't optional.
Well, clearly
Did-
was
did-
optional. It clearly was optional because he didn't do it.
Did they had like 10,000 paces?
They did have a fuck ton
Yeah, I mean, it's also just
I
like
mean,
a lot
I-
of people in the race.
I obviously you want to help out because that's something that it's a. Yeah,
I didn't want to puke on camera.
Yeah.
The cold brew was not sitting very
Yeah.
well.
So I wanted to help out, but also get a good section of a workout in.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Running
like,
64,
working.
63. So
64, 63 is not
Yeah.
easy to run.
and also I wanted to get in some advertisement. So
yeah, I
true.
cannot. I said this to him after when he got back. I cannot believe that he wore the Coffee Club T-shirt to pace. That's like,
dude,
to
I
me,
was
that's
literally
outrageous.
on the line next
That's
to freaking
outrageous.
all the Bowman guys, and all the crowd was just next was going, Gus is pacing. Look, it's Gus, and it was just a photo of Gus on my back, and
That is so funny.
everyone was just G'd up about the Coffee Club shirt that no
Man,
one was paying attention to any of the Bowman guys.
I'm
which
so
is,
happy that they're like
pretty funny.
fans out there and stuff like that are like responding to it and
Dude.
stuff. Oh,
It was funny because Ribic was warming up with us, and it was good to catch up with him and stuff. But every time we went past, everyone was yelling Coffee Club. He did
A
not.
lot of times.
Yeah, he's the
It was
fan.
great.
The fan group was
Yeah.
overwhelming. It was
Yeah.
kind of cool.
that's so cool. So yeah, next time, now we know we actually have real fans out there. Next
Yeah.
time we do go to a meet like that, we'll have to do like something, like even if it's just like a little meet and greet where we like hand out stickers or something like that, and we can get a picture together or something.
I'm thinking of if we can get the chance of a local meet that we could drive to, just bring Gus, and Gus
Yeah.
can have like a meet and greet with Gus.
Dude, if you could
That's the
bring
dream.
Gus out to the fans, that'd be crazy. You know,
Never
maybe
asking for him.
maybe eventually where we'll be like able to like host like a running camp in Boulder or something, and people come here and then they get to like hang out with Gus. Wouldn't
Get
that be
photos of him
cool?
and shit. Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
He's
to
currently
do.
in timeout.
Yeah, he's why is he in timeout? Oh yeah, he's playing outside.
He's just too active right now for the show.
We live next to a couple of Great Danes.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they are, right?
Yeah.
And they're like the biggest dogs I've ever seen.
Massive.
Like so, like if they wanted to kill me, like it'd be so easy for them.
They look like horses. They look like something
They-
you'd ride in Elden Ring.
and like
honestly.
and they like still got like their nuts and stuff. Like they
Yeah.
got the biggest balls in the world. Like I think are they show dogs? Like they must.
They're
purebred.
Like
Something.
they're very well looked after dogs. Like Gus was yelling, was barking at them through the fence, and they'd just like destroy him.
Yeah, Gus is having a bit of a rivalry with the dogs next door. I don't think he
And
realizes
there's two
what
of
he's-
them.
I don't think he realizes what he's putting himself into, but there is a little like hole at the end corner of the gate, so he puts his head in there and just barks at them.
Yeah,
He's like, "What's up, fuckers?"
yeah. But the letting fans meet Gus would be so amazing. So hopefully that can happen in the
And his
future.
injury, just to let everyone know, he's recovered.
Yeah.
He's not limping anymore. He actually got a good walk yesterday. He's doing well.
It's the people will be very
Doing-
happy
doing-
to
doing
get
well.
the update. But
There's some great spots for a run or something in that southern. Well, we should do a run from Bear Coast.
oh my god,
Yeah.
that's a great
We,
idea.
we should. It's right on that little beach trail.
That's a good idea, actually.
If anyone didn't see the origins, the original
Yeah.
coffee
Well,
club
that's where it was like
chats was
thought of and then conceived at Farmers Union, right?
Little
Well,
bit.
it was conceived in this room.
Yeah. Well,
Technically.
but okay, so it was more like
Conception.
two-part foreplay, and then conception,
A decent amount of foreplay.
and then
Southern
conception
California
here.
and Eugene.
And then conception in Boulder.
Yeah. So that's the coffee shop the boys are at in Cali, where they started having their coffee club chats with Jason, and because Jason is we've talked about him a bunch before. He's our Superman treatment guy, and he just fucking loves to drink coffee.
he'll down 10 cups and not have like.
Oh,
any
he drinks.
response to it.
I don't know how he drinks so much coffee. Like
He fucking loves
when
it.
I was in, it was so fun when I got to visit him in Grand Rapids, because it was like I'd run in the morning and be like pretty chill, and then we'd meet at like maybe like 10:30, 11, and we'd like go to like 2 or 3 coffee spots together first, just like a little tour, and then we'd go get treatment. It was good living, man. But yeah, so we've touched on Ollie paced 2K of the 10K.
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
Honestly, it felt pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, it felt good. I don't think it was funny though, because I don't think Jerry realized that I was pacing at the front.
What do you mean?
Because I got to the front and he had this look. Like, what? Wait, what? Because obviously I was wearing a t-shirt, a t-shirt and a hat, and I don't like he.
Are you wearing a hat as well?
Yeah, I was wearing an on hat because
It's
I
funny.
thought I had to wear something like on, like I feel like I had to wear something on related around like this area, so I wore an on hat.
But him and Woody were wearing basically matching
Red hats, yeah.
He was wearing a red Bauman hat.
But I was wearing
Ollie was wearing a red on.
hat, and then had the coffee cup shirt on. Anyway, so I went through, and the pacing lights, honestly, for that were solid because I was just in front of them, and it was 64.63. So I did 5 laps of that, and then I was heading in for the lap 5, and Rich is like, "Yeah, get off.
Yeah.
That's enough for you."
Yeah.
But it felt pretty good. I mean, it felt good for 2K. I don't know how it would have felt closing off fucking 8K.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't even
barely
like
paced it.
we don't even need to like say how freaking amazing that race was in the end. What
No.
Grant Fisher and Mohamed did, running 26:33 for Grant, and was Mo like maybe a second back or the same?
34.
34.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just like mind-boggling. Like their splits, like a second 5K of 13:10. It is so impressive to see. And like, obviously, you know, it was a good night for it. They had great pacing up until 7, 8K. And that's how you're going to do it. I mean, for those guys, when the pace lights are like correct, obviously they make a huge difference. Like, it's just going to be, it's like, if you are the pacer and you can judge by the lights, it's just so much easier.
They were, though, the only thing is they were very, very far ahead of the lights. So I don't know how accurate the lights were.
No.
They must have been accurate
Well, the lights
They
were
should
for
have
20 so the American record was 26:44.
Yeah, the lights were on 26:44.
So yeah,
So.
I think at 8K they were bang on that pace when the paces dropped off, and then they just, I mean, dude, their close was still like so quick.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Like once the paces dropped off, they just started running quicker.
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous.
And, that was freaking sick. It was pretty sick. I mean, Jordy and I were cooling down, and we just saw it, and we're like, yeah, that's...
Yeah, what's it like to witness something like that? Because it's just like, that is just so quick.
I mean, we didn't really watch it.
Really?
Yeah, we watched the last lap I saw, and it was interesting because we were outside the gate, but Jerry was right there. It was interesting to see what Jerry said to them when they were hitting 300 to go, because I heard what he said.
What did he say?
He said you got it now. Like, he pretty much was, dude, I don't know how to phrase it, but he's like, you got it, but how much are you going to get it by? Kind of phrasing. Because like they had it at that point, and Grant was just looking like, just amazing.
Yeah.
So and Mo made a move.
Well, yeah, Mo was ahead of him at 300 to go.
But Grant closed the fuck down on the 200. But I mean, like, dude, yeah. I mean, the one thing that was also #very good for the sport was what Grant and Elise Croney did. They donated their prize money to that Stanford girl's family.
They did. Yeah, they did.
And I think he wore number 19, which was her number, I think, at Stanford. And I know Grant's brother plays. I think he
plays soccer at Stanford.
Yeah. So I think he has a connection with her and that family, and that was a really cool thing.
Yeah, I think he probably just knew her from when he was there.
So it was a pretty cool thing because Elise Croney was also a Stanford alumni. So that was pretty cool for them to do. It was really cool. And
I mean, Mo are just the nicest.
Yeah, they
freaking world.
They freaking thanked me as well. Like, after, like, I barely did anything. Like, they didn't need another pacer in front of them, really.
Yeah.
But they are such a genuine sweet guys, and it was pretty awesome to see that. And obviously, like, Mo being a former Badger too, pretty cool.
Yeah, like, we love Mo. We know. I mean, probably know Mo better than Grant. Like, I think we would be really good friends with Grant, but we just haven't been like in the same like we've interacted with Mo a lot more just because of Wisconsin boys and all that.
Yeah.
But dude, they're just like awesome dudes. Very, very easy to root for, and now they're running these times which are like, well, now like once you run that time, it's like probably all you think about is like medal. like medal
Yeah.
at World's
Morgan's
Olympics.
heavy hitters.
Yeah, dude, they're
Morgan's
certified
heavy hitters.
certified heavy hitters.
Certified heavy hitters by
Yeah.
Morgan McDonald.
Well, and the thing is, like, you're asking about, like, what's it like to see there? Honestly, like anything, I feel like we've talked about this a few times, it's impressive, but it's not actually that, like, not overly entertaining. Like, it's like a lot of
Yeah.
things. It's impressive, it's amazing, but, like, watching it, they're just, like, the first 24 laps are just, like, guys running around in a circle.
It personally, like, it didn't change.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Jordy and I, massive respect for them. It just doesn't change our world.
Yeah,
I don't think. It
I don't
doesn't
know.
affect us
It-
as much as
it-
maybe Americans.
It does change my world a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like seeing that is like pretty inspiring. I don't know. I feel like I
Yeah.
have because like when I watched clips of Cheptegei running the world records, that's how I thought. I was like
impressive, but
I was
boring.
like, oh dude, like I don't really care. But to see people that like I have an emotional connection to do it, I found it like
True.
I found it a little bit impactful on me. And very cool.
Dude, that's the thing is, I guess I probably just expected it too much. I just expected them to do that.
And then-
After what
yeah.
Grant and Mo did indoors, I expected it.
Yeah.
And when it happened, I was like, well, I'm not shocked. I feel fucking, it's awesome. I mean, I'm really excited for them, and it's crazy. And
It's still so
But it just
quick,
doesn't,
man.
like, I'm a
26,
1500
30. Like it would have been crazy if they'd run 26, like 45. Like that would have been amazing. But
Yeah.
that would have
in the
sucked.
30s. Well, yeah, that would have sucked 1 second away from the
Yeah.
American record. But
Yeah.
but it's like it's just so quick because you even like you look at that race and they were beating really good runners. But
Dude, Jack Rayner
So
broke the
far.
Australian record.
Yeah, we
Shout out
gotta-
to Jack.
we gotta give a shout out to Jack Rayner. Like absolutely love Jack Rayner. So impressive. Like
His clothes was impressive.
he was injured at the Olympics and like he's already come
Had
back.
A legitimate, like, broken leg.
Yeah, broken leg at the Olympics and now he's back running.
It's like, I'll run 10K.
2016s. And I didn't realize this until George told me about what his last 3 laps were.
Yeah.
That he ran like what, like a
Yeah.
60?
I think he went like 60, 60, 61.
Like who does that at the end of a 10K? Like you
Fucking
must be
impressive, man.
feeling pretty damn good, man.
Yeah. And
like,
and that makes me think, wow, like that guy with maybe more training under his belt for the year could
or just in
run
a different
6 minutes
race,
quicker.
even on the same day, but like in like a actual 27-minute race, maybe he's running
Yeah.
27 minutes.
Well, I
if you
wanna
can
s-
close that well.
Yeah.
I want to see Grant and Mo now in races that are a minute slower. Like, what are they going to close in?
Yeah, I mean,
350?
I think Grant closing like either maybe a 58 or 57.
58.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, yeah, you think about that. You're running a minute slower than that. You must be feeling pretty good with
amazing.
You must be feeling pretty good, and then that's when you realize that like why like the greats they're just chilling, man.
Yeah.
And then-
27:30 is no big deal.
Yeah, they're just chilling.
You
So
close in 50 flat.
yeah, it's
But the
very
thing-
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
But
Yeah.
the thing with no big deal though, it is 10K.
yeah
You could feel like there's gonna be something slightly off about you, and you could fucking tank. I feel like with a 15,
yeah.
it's like easier to be closer to a time. Whereas like if you bomb in a 10K, it's minutes.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you
Or set,
race,
like,
whenever
lot of
you race a
seconds.
10K, it's still very, very
Yeah.
hard thing to do.
It's a
like,
commitment. It's a fucking.
yeah,
I mean, we
it's-
saw
it's-
like
it's very hard to
people
do.
drop out that we
Yeah.
didn't expect to see drop out. So
Yeah, I mean, I like it was one of those races where a lot of people ran pretty great times. Like I
Yeah.
can't think of like any other individuals to really highlight right now, but there was some great performances by a bunch of other people, like
Yeah.
some more world champs qualifiers and all that. And then I guess Elise was actually before
Mhm.
the women were before
a bit of
the men.
controversy with Elise's.
Yeah, there was controversy. She unfortunately did not have the same entourage of pacemakers because if you
No.
watch the race, you're like, well, if she had pacemaking until 7, 8K, like she would have done it because I think she
Yeah.
only had pacemaking until 3K, right?
She ran
Yeah.
7K solo.
And then 7K solo, just her with the lights. And it was very impressive to see that. That's a long time to run very quick. And she was, like, you could tell she was hurting at the end. I think her second last lap was a 75 and her slowest lap.
Mhm.
And then she had like this epic close to like, because I guess the one cool thing about the lights is that you are kind of racing them, you know? So
And as
You
a-
can see him. You can
And
see
as
him.
a spectator,
As
it's
a
quite good
spectator.
to see, like, you can actually see if someone's catching them or not.
yeah,
That's entertaining.
because you could see as a spectator, you could see that she was catching the lights, and you could see that she was racing the lights. Like you could tell, you could
Mhm.
see that that's like was her target, and that she had like she was able to like muster up like a good last lap. I think it was like a 67 to pass the lights, and so yeah, everyone got very excited when she passed the lights and finished. But then her time was 30:14.
Yeah.
Was it? And the American record that she was going for was 30:13. So then it was like everyone was like, "Wait, hang on, like what the hell? Like what was up with the lights there? Like surely they were set to American record pace, and she just beat them. So how was she not under it?" But I guess now it's been
confirmed by Jesse that there was nothing wrong with the lights. Like those were the set times.
They were set to 30:16.
Yeah.
I love that Jesse would have copped so much shit like right after, where everyone was like, dude, what the hell, man, you can't set up the lights right, like you ruined her race. Like people were literally like, that is so bad to see, like you ruined it, like all this. And then he's like, yeah, Jerry told me to set them to 30:16, so that's what I did. And
well,
I guess
how do you like 30:13 to 26:44? Is that comparable, or is one better than the other? This is a personal question.
Like the American records,
like points wise,
women's,
or
like
just like points wise, but also like in the stage of the world, like competing
the men's one is a lot closer to the world records
than
the women.
Well, I think Grant was number 7 all time. What was the least?
I
don't think number 7.
No, like the men's time is definitely more impressive. Not to take anything away from.
But I was more curious of seeing how like those records matched each other. That was the only reason why I asked that question. Was curious to see like how close the women, because I don't know the women's 10K times as well as the men's.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering how 30:13 sits.
It's still like crazy.
I know, unbelievable.
Crazy good.
I was just wondering where it sits in the world stage.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Yeah, but going back to the light stuff, the weird thing about it was that apparently Elise didn't know what the lights were set to. She and even Shalane Flanagan didn't realize that they were set to 30:16. But it does. So I think the logic was that Jerry was like, he knew it was going to be like a pretty like very hard effort. And so he wanted his expectation was that if she hit the bell with the lights, she would get it. Mm-hmm. And he wanted her to
kick off the lights.
Yeah. He wanted her to err on the side of like just a little bit slower. So,
I mean, it's definitely
like it makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense when you think about it like that. But it was just weird that I guess she didn't know that.
I'm surprised that he wouldn't tell her that, because if you're going into a race and you're looking at the lights, you kind of want to know where you are, right? If you're focusing on lights. I mean, I know Geordie, when it comes to running miles, he doesn't give a shit. Like, he doesn't even check his watch. But, like, with something like when you want to know where you are in a race, I would say with the lights, you'd want to know, hey, Jerry, like, what's the light set to? Maybe he just didn't want to tell her to put pressure on her.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was like a mental thing. Like, he thought that would bring I'm sure he thought that would bring the best out of her. And so that was kind of like the planning.
Maybe that's the way she works and functions.
Yeah.
Like, just follow the lights and don't worry about the time.
If she had a pacer up until 7K.
Oh my God.
Like
I'm surprised they couldn't find anyone. I guess there's no one from Bauman women that are at her level.
Well, it's just, dude, that's so quick to run, man.
Yeah, but no one like the 7K or at least 5K. I mean, she ran 15:04 for the 5K. That's pretty.
Yeah, that's the world standard. It's like in the 5K. They should have had a bunch of chicks just come. They should have had like a 5K split and just had a bunch of girls like come run with Elise and just get the 5K standard.
Surely there's someone out there that they could have used.
Well, there is, but it's like a lot of those people want to race themselves, you know, and it's like a lot of those people are at a level where they're not going to be pacing people. So it's like it's very
unless
difficult.
it's your
I guess that it definitely shows the turn of events from like a lot of the women like moving on to other ventures out of Bauman and small women's team, whereas the men's team is still pretty solid. A lot of guys there,
very solid. It's a lot of guys
being able to pace that. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Grant and Mo could run that with just even one pacer at 5K because they were like just rolling. But do you know what I mean? Like, it helps a lot that
they have each other as well.
That's a different depth. Like
having each other, and then like their pacer was the US 10K champ.
He's
pacing them.
He's a sub 13 runner. So
I mean, like, it's just the depth there is different. So like with Elise, like she just doesn't have anyone there.
Yeah, I mean, if she had someone to race, then even that would.
And Geordie said to her, man, like we were cooling down behind the Bauman girls, and Geordie just goes, you know what? If Elise came to the Met Gala, she would have ran the American record. She would have ran it. She ran the Met Gala.
I think we talked about that on our podcast. Did we? That would have been like episode 1. So that's for the real OG fans. That when we had our Met Gala and Elise was, because she's from Boulder area, she copped an invite.
Yeah, Geordie gave her an invite, and what was her response, George?
Well, she didn't come, obviously. So you tell me.
Oh, well, I think if she came, she would have.
I think it's
broken the American record. It's very simple.
Yeah.
So next time for the Met Gala, we'll send out that invite.
It's just simple math.
The simple
2 plus 2 equals 4. Come on.
The message that Geordie's going to send is like very simple. You want to break the American record? You come to the Met Gala part 2.
I mean, regardless what's going on in your life, if Geordie sends you an invite to the Met Gala,
you fucking turn up. If Geordie sends you an invite, you turn up.
You drop everything and you
look at this man. Do you reckon you could turn down this man? Jeez, Louise. All right. Anyway.
Yeah. Talking about the pacing made me think that we should segue into the Q&A that we had today, because it's very, very related. The question was, from a fellow runner, and he was essentially saying, hey guys, like how do you navigate this? Like he was saying he goes into a race and he'll have the splits that he wants to hit in his head, but then during the race he like, you know, you get caught up, you don't really think, and then he like loses track of where he is. So like how do we go about navigating a race, thinking about time, like looking at the clock, etc.? Because it is like an interesting thing, because I think a lot of people are different. Like personally, I actually don't like, I do like look at the clock sometimes because it's just like, it just happens. But I actually don't like to look at the clock when I race. I like to get as little like external, I like to trust that I'm like gonna be in a race with people that are running the right pace, and then I just like to 100% focus on racing those people and sticking right behind them. Like I've tried it before when I was younger, like thinking about splits, and I had a couple of terrible races. I was like, that's not really how I function. So personally, I'm like just racing people. I don't even try to look at splits.
I think counting splits is getting splits is like counting laps. I think it's just like, if you're counting laps in a 5K, 10K, I think you're doing yourself.
Hey bro, I definitely count laps at the end of a 5K.
Well, I
definitely count.
I try and
laps.
like the middle count, like I'll try and not look at it.
Yeah.
And then then eventually I'll obviously there's 4 to go.
I try to go to sleep. I try to
do the Mark Smith
until
method.
3K, and then I normally
it's
count
interesting
down the
that
last 5 laps.
The one thing, like when I was chasing times for the 1500 last year, I was definitely thinking about splits. I was thinking about
that's
times
the thing. That's why I thought it'd be interesting to ask you about it, because you're so good at like going out and hitting.
So for me, I think the one thing that I would give advice-wise is honestly practice. You got to get so used to where... I mean, I did so many 1500s and I had so many opportunities to think like that it kind of helped me a little bit. But it also put a lot of pressure on me, and it put me in the wrong mindset sometimes. Like, for example, so we had a pacer who was supposed to go at 153 or 54, and he went at 151. And when that happened, my whole pacing idea of closing just went out the door. I lost like complete track of what I was going to do.
Really?
And really, like, what I should have done is not think about it, but by the time I think about it, I get to the straight and there's almost a lap to go, and then I have to just kick. But that's like, I'm not paying attention to the clock. I didn't even look at the clock with the lap to go. Like, I'm just not in the right mindset. Whereas I think if you're thinking about splits and thinking about time, I think if you get into the right situation, the right race, and you trust the people with it, usually the most important lap is the last one, because you can make up a lot of time in that last lap. So if you see the clock and you know the time that you want to hit, then that rep, you're going to be like, okay, I got to run like a 58 to run this time that I want to run. And then you can kind of think about, okay, I run a 58, and then you go. Yeah. I think that would be the easiest way to do it. Instead of counting every split for every lap, you just look at the clock with the lap to go, and you say, okay, I got this, I got to run this time.
Yeah, but how do you know that if you're even...
Well, that's what I'm saying. You'd have to trust.
How do you know you're on pace?
You'd have to trust
to
the
that
people.
point.
You'd have to trust the people that you're with, unless you're doing it solo, whereas you'd have to know.
Yeah.
But then that's why also coaches and people on the sidelines are great, because they can call out splits.
Yeah. Dude, I fucking hate. I'm gonna say I fucking hate when people yell at me.
Yeah.
When I'm
but you know what I mean? Like that would help
getting
someone.
Yelled at when I'm racing.
That would help someone
splits or anything.
No, more like non-split stuff. Like I had an experience
like cheering.
Okay.
What do you mean from the infield?
I hate getting splits every single lap in a 5K. I don't like that. So I don't like too many splits. And then I despise when I'm like going all out, kicking on the last lap, and someone yells at me like to like kick.
So this is a method I would think. So if you're running a 5K and you're saying, okay, I want to hit 66s or whatever, right? And then the first 2 or 3 laps, right? And you have someone say, like Rich say, like they're saying 64, 64, 64. Once they've said 3 64s and you're on, 66, sorry, and you're on pace, then he doesn't say anything. And then he'll only say something if you're going off pace. Like he said, oh, that was a 60, 68. Or maybe that would help someone.
Yeah.
Because it's not constantly repeating and yelling at a time, but also making sure that you stay on pace.
I think the only person that needs the pace is the pacer. That's why they're called the pacer.
But I'm saying for people, like this question's directed at someone who's like trying to do it themselves.
I'm imagining he doesn't have paces in
and
his
he doesn't
races.
have people that maybe can run that race. He might have to do it himself. So if he had his coach there to help him with that mindset, to help him with the splits, might help him a lot more than just like trying to figure out.
Yeah, you are right though. For us, like
it's different.
You don't have to
us.
think about it, because normally there's a pacer that you can trust.
Yeah, I think it's different when you get to that situation.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that you said you focused on splits so much last year.
Yeah,
I assumed you didn't. That was why you ran 151. Otherwise, why didn't you just slow down?
Because I was trusting.
If you were so focused on splits,
I was trusting the pacer. I was trusting the pacer.
So you weren't looking at splits.
Were you looking at the
No, no,
pacer
no,
or were
once-
you looking at splits?
No.
You said you're looking at the splits, and
No,
then you would have
okay.
known that
This
was
is
way
what
too
happened.
fast.
This is what happened. I
Break it
trusted
down.
the pacer, and then when the pacer stepped off, and then I saw the clock was 1:51, that's when I lost it.
Oh, so I get it.
I was,
So you
trusting-
only- so you
I was
only
not
look at
listening to
splits.
anything. I was focused on staying with the pacer, staying as relaxed and composed as I can, and then from then on, I'd be like, okay, he's hit the time, I go.
I get
But he was
that.
so far ahead that I was like,
Yeah.
oh
I
fuck,
get that.
it's
That
a
makes sense.
1:51.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I feel like the way you explained it, you said you were looking at splits, but this makes more sense.
No, I think
No,
it
no,
was
I
just,
was focused on splits, but I was more focused on the splits after the pacer jumped
Yeah,
off.
that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
If that makes sense, yeah.
Once you were leading, you focused
Yeah,
on
that's when I focus on splits because that's when it's
Yeah.
on me. When I fully trusted the pacer to run the time. And sometimes the pacer, they didn't run it, which is like, this happens. But it was so
Yeah.
far ahead, I freaked out.
yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, racing's weird, man. Like I feel like if you're hurting in a race and it's like you look at a split and you're like, shit, I got to run a 58. Like this is never gonna work out for me at least. Like because that happened to me. I remember in a 3K, and like the one I did with Joe, the Prickly Pear invite. I mean, I was just really far back anyway, and I was like far out, and I just went way too hard on the second last lap, and then I died. But yeah, I think definitely my like overall take is just like to focus on racing,
Yeah,
trust the race.
I look at a clock. If I have looked at a clock more for not like individual splits, I'll just know. Like I remember in BU, I was trying not to look at the clock all laps as much as I could, but I remember seeing like 8 flat at 3K and being like, oh, that sounds right.
Yeah, I think that's how
'Cause
we
that's
are.
like-
Yeah, when you do it a bunch, like you're gonna just like check at 3Ks just to get like kind of like a
Yeah.
vibe from it, but it's not like you're like I gotta run like this.
Which is the interesting thing because when you actually compete in championship racing, I just couldn't give a fuck about the clock.
Well,
I didn't,
100%.
I didn't give a
100%.
fuck about the laps. I give a fuck about the laps. I don't care about the clock.
Yeah,
The laps gives me a better idea. Okay, where is everyone at this point in time of the race?
yeah,
But it's just interesting because when you're focusing on running on time, your whole priorities shift.
yeah. And I
Which
just-
like, and then like, that's why I feel a lot of the races where they just run ridiculously fast. It'd be interesting to see how those people react. To be
We-
like, oh, I wasn't
yeah.
paying attention, and all of a sudden I just ran like a 3-second PB and won the race.
Well,
But I was focused on racing.
If you want to
Probably
think about it
easier.
like that, it's really interesting actually because there has been a shift where, like, you look at the Diamond League, for example, all those Kenyans would race like kind of in crazy ways. Like they would go out in like 150, and then they would run like a 59 or a 60, and then they would run a fast last lap. And it would be like a very fast time they would run, but their splits were all over the place. Whereas the Ingebrigtsens, those guys are like metronomes. Like, and you actually, if you go back and you watch their races, like they won't be near the front, like on like the first lap or the second lap even necessarily, but then they'll run a consistent pace. So then on the third lap, like they'll like catch up and then they'll keep it going in the fourth
It's
lap.
interesting because I first learned about that when I watched the 5K in Rome when Jakob won that because he was nowhere near the lead.
Yeah,
They went out so hard. He was still on the same
Yeah.
pace, and then he just closed. and he got them all.
Especially when there's a bit of like, what do you call it, like pinballing, like with the
Mm.
pace, like it gets quicker and slower. Like they don't respond to that. They
just
run their
literally-
own pace.
Do
Which
you
is,
reckon that's a really good method to race?
yeah, but I
Those
think
guys?
only they can do it. I think it's very hard to do. Like I think you have to be. I think the way that they train is very much like I think it helps them be like those kind of metronomes because I think they're very controlled in the way they train, and so I think they have a very good feeling for like what pace they should be running. They have a good idea, and like obviously like we should probably be getting to that stage. But dude, I swear every time I fucking step, I mean I haven't done many track workouts lately, but every time I step on the track, I forget like what I'm like. If you told me to run like a 68, I'd be like, got no idea what that feels like. I'm just gonna go out, see what happens. check the watch at 200 and see and then adjust from there. I don't know, but it'd be nice to get back to that metronome status eventually when we're all training together. But yeah, that was a bit of an aside with the Q&A, but I feel like, is there anything else to cover from the 10K tonight, from the Cali trip?
No, nothing else to cover really.
Anything else happen? No. You
Pretty
go.
well covered.
Pretty well covered.
Were you guys staying near the beach?
Yeah, we're close to San Clemente.
A few blocks from the beach. Yeah.
San Clemente. That's where Boomer Kingsley.
Boomer Kingsley.
Dude, there's these really funny YouTube guys I'll show you to them that they go to like the public, like what is it, like a court thing? It's like it's like, what's Parks and Recs? What position are they? Like the governors? San Clemente, they go to like the governor's office and they ask for like this outrageous stuff. You got to look it up.
It's pretty funny.
That's a random side, but moving on from those, as we mentioned at the beginning of the pod, you guys get back from California. Do you guys get back Sunday? Monday.
No, we're
Monday.
going Monday.
Monday, and then today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday, and you guys are going to Europe tomorrow.
Dude,
So
going to Germany tomorrow. Crazy.
yeah, crazy quick turnaround. I feel like it's been very like rushed, just because it is just such a small amount of time, and there's a bunch of stuff you want to do when you get back here. But obviously, you guys are going over. Is it 10 days before World Indoors, or yeah,
If we get there the 11th. Yeah.
or like a
9,
week? Is it?
And the race is the 18th. What is that? That is a week.
That's a week because it's on Friday. The
Shit,
race.
it is a week. Yeah.
Yeah. So you boys
I
excited?
guess it makes sense. Yeah. And it'll be good to like, it feels like we're rushed a little bit now to leave, but then it'll feel less rushed before you race, which is a better way to
It's
do
definitely the most it's the best setup for it.
Yeah,
Just to get
I
there
love being able
a
to
week
like,
early.
get over the jet lag a little bit.
Yeah.
Relax, get used to the time zone.
I don't like some people like do like the Europe US thing where they race like 1 day or 2 days after they like get off the plane. I don't know how they do that. Like that just sounds like terrible.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys will have a week there. We hyped to go to Munich.
Actually, yeah.
I
Never been to
like
Germany.
Munich. Munich's a cool place.
You've been there before?
Looking forward to some like German
Good
bread
tiki tour.
and pastries and
Tiki
stuff.
tour. Yeah, dude, they're gonna have. I wonder
The
what
food
it's like.
there's
there.
fucking good. The schnitzel.
Schnitzel. I feel like Munich's a big city, and it's just like
It's
I mean,
very
Europe-
liberal city too. It's very youthy liberal city. Munich.
Is it?
That Berlin, yeah, I feel.
Yeah, I guess it's.
But I mean, I
universities.
went like literally like 4 years.
We're going to
ago.
be Bayern Munich fans by the time we get back, just to
Dude.
piss Carlos
Yeah,
off.
because Carlos is a Dortmund fan, so we'll
Yeah,
just be
Carlos is
vibing
big
it.
time.
Carlos's biggest rivals.
Yeah,
Piss him off.
that would have been so cool if you guys could have gone to a game. But man,
That would have been wild.
I'm jealous. You guys get to go to Europe. That's like, as a pro runner, that's like some of the funnest times. Is like those types
really
of trips because you just get to experience so many things that you otherwise wouldn't experience, and it's just like
Mhm.
your days are just like you go run and then you just go hang out and eat good food or like go to nice cafes and drink good coffee. So
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
pretty
Drink
good
good
life.
coffee. That's top of the list.
Yeah, go find
Hopefully
those,
you find some of that.
go find those good cafes over there, and then get into freaking Serbia.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's all smooth. Honestly.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Honestly.
But the other big thing that's happening this weekend is the NCAA Indoors.
Yeah, I'm
which-
kind of bummed that we're going to be like not watching it here.
It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be very exciting, dude. Because I forgot that like last year, and Indoors was still at the same time as Cross, so it was watered down a bit. This is the first Indoors since everyone just decided to like go fucking crazy, you know. And everyone's gonna be there, and
It's literally the first one since we ran it. We all ran it in Birmingham.
that's
right.
crazy to think about. Actually,
And
that
it's
feels
back
like
there.
so long ago. Yeah, back at the Crossplex. Dude, I don't even know where we start with our preview, but I do know George was mentioning NAU.
We may as well start with
Yeah, why would
we
you-
always do.
Why would
Why
you
the
not?
fuck not?
Yeah.
Why the fuck not?
But
Yeah.
did you say they're what's their ranking? Did you say they're ranked third going into it, or they could come third?
No, the team, which is I don't know what we were ranked in 2020 going into it.
I
but
think
it
you guys
was
were top
definitely-
3 as well.
I think it was like us. I think it was like LSU
Yeah,
was like one of the favorites.
yeah.
And we were like super pumped about having like 7 guys qualified, and we're like, yeah, let's try and get a podium as a team. That was gonna be sick.
It can be
And
a
then
lot of
this
points.
year, again, it seemed realistic, but then it was like, shit, it's like mostly Abdi Hamid and Nico.
Yeah.
Now Drew, but they're still ranked third as a team, and there's 3 people.
You know, actually, when in 2019 we tied third with Stanford.
We did.
Or was it fourth?
I
Because
think
we
you
got a
guys did.
trophy.
I
It was
remember
either
that,
third
yeah.
or fourth.
We podiumed, but the crazy thing is, I think it was you, me, and the DMR, and they ranked us like first or second or some stupid shit like that. Remember?
We did have a pretty good rank going into it. But I mean, for those who don't know, like the way that track meet is scored at the collegiate level is like it's just so hard to have success as a distance school. It's actually a lot easier indoors than it is outdoors because outdoors there's even more sprint events. But if you're a sprint school, it's like just 100 times easier because you can have these athletes that can like very viably
I'm
win.
pretty sure, like,
Grant Holloway would
Yeah,
do
right.
he
10
won like
events.
he won
Yeah.
like 10 events.
Yeah, like
yeah.
you can score so many points, and then you get like your 4x1, your 4x4, like
hurdles, long
like
jump.
yeah. If you have certain athletes, it just lends itself way easier to scoring a lot of points, and there's just way more like similar sprint events. So at distance school in outdoors, I doubt they've done well for a long time. I guess Oregon won, but even then Oregon that was when they had Edgez, but they do always have good sprinters and decathletes as well.
Yeah.
So that's not even like a pure distance program. I mean, their head coach is a sprints coach. So
Has
yeah.
a school ever podiumed with only distance athletes?
I
Didn't you guys have like would you have a high jumper or something, right? That did really well in
No, we had a
2019.
Was it
heptathlete.
decathlete?
We had a heptathlete.
Yeah, we definitely weren't only distance, but I feel like in indoors,
Primarily.
we were primarily distance. I feel like in indoors it's probably been done before, like by Stanford or something.
We have won an indoor championships. Wisconsin has one.
Yeah,
indoor.
yeah, with like Chris Zielinski.
Yep.
And then back in the day.
But the thing is with that, when you look at it, the Wisconsin team has a very, very strong throws program as well.
Yeah, we do.
So we had a good throws. I think they had a good multis program too. And the distance, you can rack up points with
Throws
that.
and distance winning is cool.
Yeah, it's a nice
that
combo.
rack ups a lot of points because we didn't really have a big sprint base at all. So that's where we got the points. I think that's where they won indoors.
Yeah.
Is with that kind of setup. But
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a good story to follow.
It'll be good to see if
it'd be
NAU,
lovely to see how they do.
you can root for them just as like representing distance runners in general.
Or representing Mike Smith, you know, just
Yeah.
root for Mike Smith.
Yeah, I
Root for
mean,
that man.
I'm gonna root for. Dude, that guy could run for president, and I'm gonna like, I'm gonna get my citizenship just so I can vote for him.
Yeah, I'd
Like,
vote for him.
Mike Smith, love that guy.
I'd vote for him.
So, like more specifically, you were saying that was it the 5K they have the three-headed trident, I don't know what do you call
Three-headed trident.
the three-headed
I think heavy hitters.
NAU beast. They got some
Are they
heavy
heavy
hitters.
hitters?
Morgan McDonald. Okay, we're going to go into a segment
Nico Young, heavy hitter.
Yep.
Abdi Hamid.
No.
I mean, I have beef with him, so like not a heavy hitter. I hope he joins that team. That'd be pretty funny. For those who don't know, I'm kind of joking, but he got angry at me once for not freaking pacing him in a race when I beat him. So I'm like, come on, bro, I'm not gonna pace you. And we haven't talked since, so beef is still currently open. And then,
Our Ollie's main competition for angst runner.
Oh, yeah.
Drew
dude,
Bosley.
Drew
I mean,
Bosley's
Drew
my
Bosley.
heart,
I've
man.
known him since high school because he's a Wisconsin boy.
I would try to recruit him so hard.
Yeah, so
Broke
like
my heart.
he's a heavy hitter, and he's
He's a heavy hitter and he's also team angst.
Team
He
angst.
could also overtake me for team angst leader.
Yeah, we
Like
know.
he's pretty close to that. So like,
Yeah.
I just want to see how angsty he can get, man.
So those three are in the 5K, so that'll be good to see. But man, it's just like it's
the
crazy.
people they have to raise.
I don't even want to like. It's hard to like talk about three people because it's just like there's.
Like literally, there's 16 on the list and 16 of them are fucking.
Bro,
good.
we're not even like talking about Wesley Kipto anymore, man. You remember like that guy
Yeah.
was like running like solo 1320s, like I don't know. Which obviously now, like if he did that, everyone would just sit on him and like outkick
I'll
him
kick him. Yeah.
Yeah.
because everyone's way too good right now.
But I
But
feel like what we've learned since the last episode, or maybe I heard someone say it, I think during their conferences, but the top seed from Florida State, Adrian Vildskud, possibly not white because he's African, checks out. But
Yeah.
that dude's run under 13:10.
yeah, we didn't even
The crazy thing is, I think like there's going to be a lot of doubles, right? There's going to be a lot of triples, even of people like doing multiple events. I mean, I know there are like options for like certain athletes, not all of them, but I'm curious to see Morgan Beetlejuice's mile 3K double. That's going to be interesting because that 3K ain't going to be slow. That mile ain't going to be slow.
Yeah,
It's going to be fucking hard. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see those athletes repeat because, I mean, we saw what Cole Hawker did. The weakened indoors, but still what he did was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, still amazing performance.
Still probably like a heavy hitter, unbeatable guy.
Yeah, I mean he was
at
still
the time.
beating Kubatir off like with a
Yeah.
crazy double and like Mario.
But like I think
there.
that the interesting thing is NCAA's like can people replicate that at all? Can people win a double title?
Well,
I don't know what's going to happen, but it'll be interesting to
The
see.
thing with Beetlejuice is like choosing to like do the double with the 3K is like, I mean, there's no reason not to enter in the 3K if you are in any way prioritizing the other race, because it's like the kind of him choosing to do the mile 3K is almost like him choosing to do the mile. You know what I mean?
It definitely is.
Yeah,
because
that mean-
prioritizing that race and then 3K, whatever happens.
yeah,
kind of
because
thing.
it's like if something happens, you don't make the final, you still at the 3K.
I still
and
think
then
he would
you
be
still double.
more better. Like, he'd do better in the 3K than the mile.
Well, that's
but
why
he has run a 352.
that's why it's a very interesting choice, because if he was prioritizing the 3K, you don't choose to do the mile.
Yeah.
You know, you
But he's
may-
run a 352 in the mile. So,
Yeah.
but then he's got guys like in that mile race that can kick like motherfuckers. And like, is he going to go out and run a 352 solo?
The standard's so high.
But Yared's not running the mile?
What is Yared doing?
I think Yared is doing the
DMR
3K.
Can we get a goose check, please?
We got the goose check. We got the goose check here.
What's
The
he
goose
doing?
is loose, and
What's
the
he
goose is
doing?
running the 3K DMR.
That's
I think
why
our prediction is that he wins the DMR.
Yeah.
No problem.
I don't think he knows how to lose a DMO.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Actually, he does, because he just fell over at conferences.
That's how you lose.
The only way he can lose is if he gets tripped up. If he doesn't get tripped up, he's winning.
Well,
And
I
then
don't know if he gets... I guess he did get tripped up. But
No,
he
he
got
tripped up by the
he
rail.
tripped
Tripped up by the
himself.
rail. The rail was his ultimate mortal enemy by the end of it. But the 3K will be interesting because he's got the highest seed time, right? He's 7:38. NCAA
This is
record. This guy also is just like a really good
The way
racer.
he closes is
He's just
like
a really good
ridiculous.
racer. So like, he's got
I mean,
the DMR. He's got
The
the team
DMR
thing.
3K is a super nice double to do.
Yeah.
That's a really nice double to do, especially.
Get your legs going,
Yeah.
and then you get in the 3K, you just rip some heads off. So,
So
I'm
he'll be hard
excited.
to beat.
Hopefully we'll get to somehow watch it. Ritz will probably have a stream or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Like, I don't know what other individuals to talk about just because it's
there's
like,
so many. of
obviously we're going to shout out our boy Olin Hacker.
Yeah.
Go out there and get it
them.
done.
The hack attack.
And I
3K?
think, yeah. I think Wisconsin is in the
They are
DMR
the
as
DMR
well.
as well.
So we're going to be cheering for those boys to
good
go
luck
out
to
there
them.
and crush.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think everyone. I'd mention everyone, but I think after the NCAA's happens, it's gonna be easier to like talk about people because there's just so many people here that
It's true.
literally just come
Everyone's
out.
just too talented, you
I'm
know?
sure we'll miss someone on this talk, and then all of a sudden we'll be talking next week about them. Because
Well,
of
That's
it.
true.
So-
I'm excited to see Lalo. in
Yeah.
the 3K.
Yeah, our friend Lalo from Colorado. Because, yeah, this is it. Because, like, we've all season we've been seeing these crazy times, and we're like, all right, like, it's really cool running times, but still, championship racing is where you got to go do it. And it's a point now
Who's a
where,
winner?
yeah, like,
Who's
all
a
these people,
winner?
I mean, obviously there is some difference still, but pretty much the standard is just, like, so high. And everyone that qualified, fucking amazing. And, like, almost everyone has a shot to, like, medal, you know, because, like, they're so good. Speaking of, why is it at NCAA's where they do 4 people on the podium? No, that's in the teams that's the teams they do 4 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why the hell do they do 4? I don't know why I just thought about that.
Apparently, I think it's from like football where 4 teams make the like playoffs or whatever it's
Makes
called.
sense.
George coming in with the goods.
I just made
Yeah.
that. I think I made that up.
But that makes sense though.
viable.
Yeah. I guess actually do they put
Why
8
would there be 4
do
teams?
they put 8 people on the podium? Do they
I think there's like a full All-American like.
they do 8 people? They definitely
think
do
they
that
do.
outdoors. Do they do that indoors as well?
I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no New Zealanders indoors though. I don't think.
That's crazy.
It's kind of sad.
Got some good Aussies out there.
Fog Dog.
Fog Dog got the 10
Okay,
piece scratch.
I don't even, okay, yeah, he got the 10-piece McNugget scratch.
Yeah.
Is he? I mean, he's Australian. He's kind of British though, man. Didn't he
Oh,
choose
yeah.
to?
No,
Didn't he choose to represent
He's representing
UK?
Britain.
And he has a British accent.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fog
which
Dog.
bit of him's Australian?
He lives there.
Well,
now.
which bit of him? His mum, I think. No,
I
his
think
dad.
I think he lives in Australia.
Oh,
Uh,
but he's running for Great
I
Britain.
think
Like if
so.
he.
I think so.
because apparently Australia's not good enough.
All right. So are there any?
No, I'm kidding.
Are there any true-blooded Australians?
Yeah, I would say in
Well,
the
if Jackson Sharp does a DMR.
where
he's
we'll have a couple in the DMR, and
True.
then
Adam Spencer.
I'm pretty sure did Kai Robinson, the young Stanford
Oh.
5K
Yeah, no,
guy.
he ran the
He
stand.
would've- he would've
ran-
made
He
it.
ran the time to get into.
Dude,
the
he's
5K.
like this like he's like
Dude.
20 years old or something from
I
Stanford.
think
He
he's
runs
double-
double.
stud.
I think he might be doubling.
Yeah, he's
No, he's a stud.
he's
gonna be
a
good.
heavy hitter.
He's a heavy hitter. He's Morgan's heavy hitters.
Yeah, he's on the list.
Dude, I'm just looking forward to. I'm hoping there's some drama. I just want some drama.
What type of drama?
I don't know.
How's it not
going
gonna
to be? Some fisticuffs.
There's got to be drama when there's that many
Yeah.
freaking people there, and
That many
especially
heavy hitters.
Who'd be
And-
the best like mic'd up athlete or coach at NCAA is just talking shit?
I mean,
It's like saying shit that make you like laugh or like interesting or
well, obviously Mike Smith, but excluding Mike Smith and obviously Mick Byrne as
Mick
well.
Byrne. I mean, because
Yeah.
Mick Byrne at national, like some of the shit that he could say is just so funny.
I would love to see a coach mic'd up that's just like stressing out.
Yeah, just like a mic'd up coach and then a mic'd up athlete like before and after the race just saying shit.
Yeah, that'd be
Be
good
funny.
to see. That'd be good.
Anyway,
yeah, I think that's our preview for Indo. That is not a very
well, we can't. No, we literally cannot preview everyone because there's so many names. But I think like when the results come in, we can actually have a better idea of like who we're going to talk about and how it went. Because it's
That's a
just,
good way of putting it.
Because it's so hard.
We'll
There's just-
give a good review, but
It's just so hard because
Yeah.
there's so many good people and there's people that we're going to miss that we talk about, even if we went through a lot of it.
it's
But
true.
I think the next week when we have the results and have seen it, it's going to be easier to dissect
Yeah,
what happened and who was running well and what
I
they've
hope-
done this
I hope
season.
there's some big upsets.
that'd be
It normally
awesome.
is.
George loves an upset.
Some March Madness. You know?
George loves an upset.
That'd be good to see.
I mean, you always root for the underdog, right?
Got to.
You got to root for the underdog.
So I mean, with that logic, you're kind of not rooting for NAU though, if you think about it, because they're too good now.
You're not rooting for NAU.
It's
no.
not. It's not the NAU that I
Hey, dude,
fell in
they're a
love
small
with.
school,
It's
bro.
not the NAU that I
They're a
fell in love with,
small
man.
school.
Now
It's
they
spent-
got their new $10 billion
Yeah, $10 billion facility, but
I
they're a
heard they-
small school,
I
bro.
heard they got
Small.
woodways that you can play Fortnite
Dude,
on.
they're so white collar now.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Times have changed,
Back
bro.
in my day,
Times have changed.
we just had a stick and a piece of string and we chased that around. That was Mike Smith holding the string up. He's like, "You gotta be close to this," and he was on the bike, and they were all
Yeah.
like, "That
Be
was
good
their,
ideas.
that was their lighting pacing system."
Yeah,
It was
but
just a stick and a piece of string. That was their light pacing system.
that was the
George was on it.
that was
George
the
on it.
prototype one.
Stay near the string.
That was the prototype
Stay
one
near the
of
string. That's 440
of
pace.
the light wave, whatever that shit's called. But the wave light, I
The
said it
wave light.
backwards. I said it backwards.
Light wave.
The light wave technology.
I actually like that way better. Light wave.
Yeah.
Because it's lights and then it's a wave.
But with that said, I mean, this has been such a nice episode to film in the studio again. As I said, we'll be doing it over the webs in the next few weeks, so be prepared for that. I think we'll get better at doing that as we go. But that's it for everything today.
Yeah. No, it's good to be back and then gone again.
Yeah.
In and out.
In and out just like that. But that's episode 25. I feel like at one point we said we were going to celebrate at episode 25.
Quarter of a century.
Quarter century, which, I mean, I think we celebrated with just a lovely episode. So.
I think we celebrated by being together.
All right. Oh, wait. Oh my God, I forgot this the whole episode.
What?
I have a present for George for winning the race.
Oh, yeah.
What? I got you a present.
I chipped in as well.
Yeah.
This is from both of us.
Are you ready?
Did you know this was?
Yeah.
gonna be-
We had this plan.
No. Come on. Man.
Meet Cedric the Celery.
Cedric the Celery.
Cedric the Celery. He's a new friend that we got
New
from the
addition
house.
to the house.
For George, if
He's
you
so
listen to the
droopy
episode, yeah, you know how much George likes celery, especially the smell of it. Smells good, boys. I can confirm. Thank you to whoever commented and said, don't put celery in the fridge. We don't put it in the fridge anymore. We leave it out on the counter so George can always look at it. But this is for you, George. Congratulations.
We're gonna put it under his.
Yeah, that's
pillow
why I'm
at
leaving
night.
the country. That's why I'm going. I don't
I'm
want to
gonna sneak it into his bag and he's packing.
Yeah, he's going to take it to Europe.
I'll probably
and
get
he's gonna
arrested.
in trouble. Yeah, you'll probably get arrested.
Probably get arrested.
Taking celery over
What's
national
Cedric
lines.
doing in here? How did
But-
that get in there?
But this is our fifth member of the
I can smell
podcast,
it.
Cedric the Celery.
Cedric the Celery.
So,
Cedric.
I'm happy you guys got to meet him. But with that, I think that's it. Episode 25, over and out.
Over and out.